Hey, welcome back to Bandwagon fans. This is Jeff,
Hello, Jason.
and tonight we are talking about the latest episode of The Mandalorian. This is Chapter 13, The Jedi. So, we got a lot to talk about with this episode. This was right off the bat. For me, this was the best episode of The Mandalorian so far, both seasons, hands down. Written and directed by Dave Filoni, who's one of the producers of the show. I don't remember if he directed any episodes in season one.
Yeah, I don't remember if he did.
So anyways, leave in the comments below if he did or not. But so
It makes sense that he was fully into this one
right,
because he's pretty much the guy like behind Ahsoka.
so and let's get into that. So the biggest thing in this episode,
It starts right out with her.
the Jedi is Ahsoka Tano, Ahsoka Tano. So this had been teased for a couple episodes as far as Mando and the child getting to the planet of Corvus,
Yes.
where they would meet up with where there's supposed to be a Jedi there. We knew who it was going to be we know who it was going to be, but this time right at the start of the episode.
She's being like hunted down.
Yeah, is she being hunted down, or is she doing I think she's attacking the fortress.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think she's being hunted down. I think she's actually attacking the fortress, and I'm going to come back to that in a few minutes because it was the one thing that irritated me about this otherwise near perfect episode.
Okay.
But let's talk. I just want to talk real quick about the planet of Corvus. This is by far the most interesting looking planet.
Well, it's the most
that we've seen in
unique.
the
It's
show.
not
Yeah.
desert or snow or rain or water.
When they said, and I think it was in episode chapter would have been in 11, you're going to go to the forest planet of Corvus. I was thinking, oh great, so we've been to Tatooine, we've been to a Hoth planet, now we're going to see Endor again.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
It's kind of like a burned down indoor.
Yeah.
Like a wasteland looking.
It looks like a planet in a war zone.
You kind of like do you remember in Judge Dredd like the scorched earth?
Yeah.
Mhm.
All the trees are burnt up.
Yeah.
It had a mist or a haze.
I guess you
blocking
can
out
compare
the
that to Dagobah if you want to give it a comparison to anything you've seen before, just to say the mist, the atmosphere.
The only thing I would think, and some
but there
movies-
was some green in it, like in that one spot, but
So-
like for the most part, no green. Or nothing.
there's a movie that you haven't seen yet that this actually most looks like, and it's the planet at the beginning of the Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, okay.
So you see it in the trailers when Kylo Ren is like slamming the stormtrooper or slamming, he's running through that forest.
Sure.
It kind of had that aesthetic of a burnout forest, and it was by far the most visually interesting planet we've seen in this show. Really cool, and because the color palette of this planet was like a dark brown to olive green, and that made Ahsoka Tano really stand out and pop.
Oh, sure.
With
sure.
her-
The orange. And
What are her the head tails called?
Oh,
Do you remember? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not wasting time on that, but yeah, I
But
know.
between those being white and her twin white lightsabers, and then the white war paint on her orange face,
Yeah.
when visually there was some really stunning scenes. Especially like when the lightsabers lit up her face with that backdrop. Really never seen anything like this.
And she looks really good.
Rosario
Dawson
Dawson, yeah,
does
she's
look good as
great.
Ahsoka. I think a lot of people even kind of called the caricature of Ahsoka out as looking kind of like her even back in the day.
Especially in that first introductory scene when we first see the lightsabers light her face, it looks animated.
Oh, sure.
It almost looks like a cartoon, which actually was a really cool effect. And I'm going to guess that it was an intentional choice because of Dave Filoni's history with the Clone Wars.
Okay, sure.
I think they intended to do that because it was a pretty obvious. It looked like that's what they were
Looked
trying
very
to do.
natural though.
Yeah.
They've come a long way with all that skin enhancing stuff.
Yeah, I'm just gonna call them the head tails because I don't remember what they're actually called. Those looked kind of fake.
Oh, okay.
Like it looked like blow up pillows coming off her head. But that's just a minor quirk.
It did kind of look like, especially with the crease marks, that it was just kind of like a,
Yeah.
like those squeeze. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. It looks like now that I think
But
about
that's probably what it was.
it reminded me of an old pleather Pillsbury Doughboy.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
the guy from the end of Ghostbusters.
But you definitely got that, the pleather.
Yeah.
A lot of toys back then.
And then we come, she has her little confrontation with this.
Well, yeah,
person.
the magistrate, her name was Morgan Elsbeth.
Yeah.
And I guess this was a gal who, during the Clone Wars, everything got taken away from her, so she funded the Empire, and that's how they came in with her help.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's on this planet, kind of taken over.
Taken over, and
then you got Lang, and Lang is her enforcer, who was Michael Biehn. And Michael Biehn was from Terminator and Alien.
Is the character from previous shows?
I don't remember him from
No.
previous
Okay.
shows.
So all new characters in the town.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, she was mentioned during the Clone Wars, but I don't remember this character or Lang. I don't remember them in anything.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I don't
remember. And so I'll get this out of the way real quick. It's the one thing that really irritated me about this episode, and it's kind of becoming a recurring theme in this show. The whole attack of Ahsoka Tano going up to this town, and then she gets there. They say words. She has a few words with what's the woman's name?
Elsbeth.
Elsbeth.
Morgan
They
Elsbeth.
say a couple things back, and then they're like, "I'll be back in 24 hours." That was just completely pointless. And it's just bad storytelling and structuring.
And Bo-Katan said, she knew where to find her, in the last episode. So I wonder how long Ahsoka's been on this particular planet doing this back and forth.
Yeah.
It makes you think like this back and forth's been going on for like, how long has it been going on?
It's starting to be a noticeable problem with the show and with the Star Wars universe in general, where things, if you just look at it and you don't think about anything else, it makes sense and it's fun and it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as you think about how it fits in the context of everything else, it just stops making sense. Why would a Jedi Master go attack a town only to get to the front gate and be like, I'll see you tomorrow? Like that, it just doesn't make any sense. What they could have done is, and I get the point of that scene was to set up stuff later on.
Sure.
But it could have been set up in a more coherent manner, as in before she gets to the main town, she has to go through a fort or something. And you cut back and forth between the two. Hey, she's coming. Oh crap, we got to get ready. And then the final scene is the two of them looking at each other over a distance.
It seems like through all of it, like the back and forth at the beginning and then at the end with the Mandalorian when he's helping her, it doesn't seem like there's much struggle or much. It seems like they kind of just get through it.
Yeah.
Like she's kind of, it gives off to me like Ahsoka's just been kind of putting up with this.
Yeah, it is like it's just, like everything is really cool when you look at it, but as soon as you think about where it fits into the larger story,
it's almost as if like this whole thing just needed to be there to fill up an episode that was the Ahsoka introduction episode, because they couldn't just spend 45 minutes or 50 minutes just with her sitting with the child, but really the best scenes were her with the child.
Well, I mean, so
Right,
that was my weekly bitching about the show.
Okay.
But the rest of the episode was freaking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we found out the child's name is Grogu.
The child is adorable, and we got to see real character development, of the relationship between Grogu and Mando.
Well, and there's all of that connection too. As soon as
Yeah.
she saw the child, she was immediately drawn to the child. She mentions Yoda. She gives the speech that kind of Obi-Wan gave in A New Hope.
We find out that Grogu was at
The
Jedi
many
temple.
masters were teaching him. So
Yeah.
it did kind of say like earlier, right? He's about 50
Yeah,
because they grow to be 1,000.
right. So
and he was there throughout the whole thing when the Order 66 happened.
so he would have been on
Someone
Coruscant,
took him.
yeah.
It's still we don't know who took him, who saved him, but
Yeah, so
there's that rumors going around about maybe a Mace Windu appearance in the future. I don't know. I don't know if you've heard about that.
Yeah, so there's a couple
that's just
rumors.
a rumor. That's not a spoiler.
There's a rumor that Mace
but he
Windu
might have been the guy
make
that
an
saved
appearance.
him.
Yeah,
we don't know.
I heard that rumor a few days ago, but my first thought was it's.
I'm just wondering, like, as to who saved him.
In terms of this story, what would make sense is Moff Gideon.
Mm-hmm.
That's what would make sense. And then the other rumor I heard a couple days ago is that there is in development a live action Rebels show.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why we're seeing all these characters.
There's something about Obi-Wan Kenobi too, so there's a lot of stuff going around.
Well, we know Obi-Wan is in production or pre-production. We know that one's happening, but the Rebels is an unconfirmed rumor.
But yeah. So they're talking. She's spending some time there, getting to know the child, talking to him, through the Force, and she finds out all of this stuff, and then she's trying to see if there's still any kind of ability left in the child. So she does kind of a little test where she floats the pebble over to the child and Grogu, and Grogu doesn't return the pebble, and it's just kind of a matter of like, well, he's not emotionally invested,
right? Well, she did mention, and again, there's some stuff they did. There's some stuff they did in this episode that's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things is, she mentioned that he was hiding his abilities because of the experiments that were done on him, and that because of fear, he's been hiding his abilities for a long time.
Yeah,
that's great. That's a beautiful little nugget of character development and motivation. And why a character acts a certain way that makes sense within the larger story. Love that little line.
Yeah, and I mean, it just, I guess it shows just how much he's attached to the Mandalorian.
Yeah, and
because he went and it was earlier in the episode he was playing with
he was playing with the ball from first season again. Yeah,
mm-hmm. And so Mandalorian takes it from him, puts it away, but then when he's asked to do what Ahsoka did, and there was no response, he goes, okay, and he tries the pebble. He's like, you see, he doesn't listen.
Yeah.
But then he thinks about it because she says something about, I forgot the line.
She said something about the Grogu being attached to.
Yeah. So he takes that out, and he automatically, like, right away. And that just goes to show you right there just how trusting this child is in this Mandalorian.
Yeah.
That he, like, without hesitation, it was like it wasn't even a floating.
Well, at first, Mando tried to use the stone, and he wouldn't use the stone. So,
but then I get the familiarity,
the little ball reminded me.
Is that some comfort there? Maybe. Yeah.
And see those are the moments I love.
I think those are the moments that the general audience eats up to.
Yeah.
The Star Wars fans are more for the sabers and the blasters.
I don't know. I think you guys get to a point. Because you wouldn't resonate with the sabers and the blasters if you didn't have those human connections when you were a kid. Mm-hmm. You talk all the time about how much Skywalker meant to you.
I do. I don't know modern day Star Wars fans how much of it is just sabers and aesthetics.
I think the directors and producers of these shows and the movies think that's all the fans want. Mm-hmm. Because if they go too far into character and that's not what the characters want, there's backlash. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Unless you're watching porn, people want unless
sure.
People want the human interaction. That's what we're looking for.
Sure. So it's kind of revealed that because of this attachment, she kind of harkens back, and we know what she's referring to as she can't train the child because he has this emotional bond.
Never heard that before.
Yeah, right. That's the constant. And how she says it's like, I've seen this before. I've seen what happens to a person like this.
And so for any of you that end up watching this that haven't seen Clone Wars, the Rebels, right? If you haven't seen those, she was Anakin Skywalker's Padawan. Mm-hmm. So her mentor, her Obi-Wan.
Yeah, he called her Skips, I think was the nickname. I think that was it. Or Nips or something.
So her mentor, she watched him turn and slaughter all the younglings.
Well, now,
become Darth Vader.
She didn't know at the time. But during Rebels, she found out.
Right.
Yeah. So, that was a pretty good story.
So, it was a little irritating for them to go to the well one more time on this. Oh, I can't train the boy, But in her case, knowing the whole story, it makes sense with her history and her character. It makes sense why she wouldn't, in a similar way, again, going back to the Disney movies, why Luke Skywalker is hesitant about training,
Yeah. Well, I mean, even in the Clone Wars, she was accused for a crime she didn't commit. She was kicked out of the Jedi Order, and then she was welcomed back, and she's like, "I'll go on my own." So really, Ahsoka ever since then has kind of been like detached.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think that even as a representation of the fact that their lightsabers are clear, they're white. There's something about that. I don't want to say for certain what it is because I don't really know for sure, but I think it's something about how like she's not like.
Were they white in the past?
They were white in the past, and then like in the final season of Clone Wars, Anakin gave her new blues. But then in this episode, with the curved tilts, those were her originals. So I don't know.
Okay.
But she had the clear ones to begin with. She got the clear ones after she left the Jedi Order. They were green. I think green was her color to begin with. And then when she got a dual lightsaber going, it was a green and a blue, I believe. And then they went clear when she left the Jedi Order, I think.
Okay.
And anyway.
Yeah. I'm sure somebody out there knows.
No, sure.
But
there's something about it, though, I think.
The white lightsabers, rocking it.
Yeah, you like that, yeah. I like her skills with it, and I like that they did it justice. She fought with the short one, I don't know how you call that, but like underhanded or whatever.
She
did that.
As a photographer, it would never occur to me to use that color palette together. That white with that olive green in the background. But man, seeing it, I want to run out and set up a shoot to explore that color palette. That was freaking amazing.
Oh yeah,
it was really cool. So eventually,
she's like, well, first off, she's just like, I can't do this, and then he's like, well, I'll help you because I was sent to kill you, but I'll help you do this if you help me with what I need here with, getting you taking a child or finding a Jedi for me or something that wasn't really, solved at that moment. You didn't really know what the resolution was, but he agrees to help her with her magistrate problem.
Yeah. So they team together, Mandalorians and Jedi coming together to do something.
Yeah. He said some kind of whimsy line that we watched the episode twice and we don't remember because that's what it is.
He said they'll never see it coming.
Okay, never see it
coming. And then we don't have to go. We don't have to. But the little battle scene.
Well, it didn't last long. Right, true.
But it was good. It was good.
Like I said, the choreography with her lightsabering was very good.
Yeah.
And then she had. Oh well, there was something about the Beskar spear.
So this was another thing that they did in this episode. There's actually two more things that they did that I really, really appreciated. One, when Mando and Ahsoka Tano first met, she doesn't know who he is. She just sees, Boba Fett lookalike or Jango Fett, whoever.
Sure.
So they start fighting, and it establishes that his armor blocks the lightsabers. The lightsabers can't cut through.
Yeah, the Beskar armor does that. I mean, Star Wars fans know that, but to the general public, they're not aware of that.
But we see it.
I mean, Ahsoka herself now is very familiar with Mandalorians because of the Bo-Katan and all of that, but she doesn't know what this is.
So we get to see, and they don't come out and say, oh wow, I can't believe my lightsaber didn't go through your armor.
And they also feature his gauntlet with the flames and how like it torched her cloak, but she got rid of that right away. And
really good back and forth action. And it set up later in the episode when Ahsoka Tano is now fighting the magistrate.
Yeah,
that magistrate has a staff of solid. Beskar
armor. She offers the spear to him for the payment to go kill her. Yeah.
So
because it's really rare.
By the time they get to that fight, we as an audience already know that the Beskar will block the lightsabers.
Yeah.
So it's an even fight.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's really cool
attention
to detail, and it's a good build. Good setup and payoff in the action.
Yeah, definitely.
The other thing they did that was great, and I've been complaining about this all season long. They had two simultaneous scenes, and they cut back and forth between them.
Yeah.
While Mando was fighting the marshal or whatever.
Right.
Ahsoka Tano is fighting there, and there's a little moment where Mando and the other guy are talking, or mainly the other guy is talking to Mando, and you hear Ahsoka Tano's fighting
The clanging and the sabers, yeah. And they're like kind of taking, it's like, who's going to win? You know, kind of like, you know.
And that's a complexity. That's a complexity in the story structure we just have not seen in this show so far. So, again.
And then after the resolution there, you have that old fashioned how he's like, all right, I guess I lose. And he put down his gun, and Mandalorian kind of slipped his hand away, and then the final.
I do kind of wish that the other character just stuck with it and just walked off. I thought that would have been kind of. It would have been a good that would have been a good way to subvert our expectations.
Yeah.
But they went with what was expected.
They didn't want you getting attached to too many characters, I guess.
Yeah.
So there was also why she went to the magistrate in the first place was revealed. She needed to know where Grand Admiral Thrawn is. And we mentioned that last week that we hadn't thought.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah. So she was and that makes sense because of her funding the Empire, her attachment to Grand Admiral Thrawn. So
give a quick primer for those of us, and I'm in that camp, that don't really know who the hell Admiral Thrawn is.
He's just one of the survivors of the last war on Endor there, you know, in Jedi. And he was kind of like in the Timothy Zahn novels, he was the main instigator.
For a series,
Yeah, he was the guy bringing the Empire back. He was like the big guy.
So I didn't read these books, but I did do a little research this morning. His first appearance was Heir to the Empire.
Yeah.
Which I think was also the first.
And that was a trilogy of books.
Yeah. It was also the first appearance of Mara Jade.
Right.
Yeah.
And she was sent out to kill Luke, and then, they fell in love. And that's another rumor, in the future, maybe we'll see a Mara Jade. So that's kind of exciting.
So Thrawn died, came back to life because he was so popular, and I guess he's still around.
Yeah, he was even in Rebels, so he's actually even been established now in Disney. He's people know.
Yeah, the only character that Disney has brought back from the EU.
Yeah, it seems like they're slowly trying to trickle in. I mean, if they do Knights of the Old Republic things in the future, you might see some of that.
Well, I think this is the Dave Filoni influence. And actually, I've been reading quite a bit that there's two camps within Lucasfilm. This is all speculation. This is third, fourth hand rumor. Take it for what it is.
Sure.
But within Lucasfilm, there's kind of two camps. Dave Filoni heads the we want to bring in the EU camp. And then and I think, don't quote me on this, but I think Jon Favreau is more of the we're trying to build something new camp. And you're really seeing, if that's true, you're really seeing that in The Mandalorian. Because like every episode is like this tension between, tease the old stuff versus establish new stuff.
It seems like you get like a little like callback character with I'm expecting Cad Bane, quite frankly, next. And he was a very popular bounty hunter from Clone Wars, And you have a Hondo already with Galaxy's Edge. He's like kind of a more established character now. Hondo, I think it was a knocker, maybe. I can't remember.
I don't know.
But anyway, there's a lot of these characters they bring back. The one thing going forward with EU characters post-Jedi is that they kind of can't do is kind of like that were really popular is kind of like the Solo twins. I don't see that happening. Mara and Luke's son, maybe not. But, yeah.
Even Mara would be... Considering where they took the Force Awakens, it would be really hard to bring in Mara Jade and make it make sense.
Yeah.
In fact, so again, this was the best episode of the show so far, and probably the best balance between the old and the new, or the EU and the Disney. But when you start like thinking through things, like, okay, if and maybe this has already been addressed in other books or other medium. But now you have this situation where Force Awakens, Luke Skywalker is trying to reestablish the Jedi Order. And the whole big deal about the Force Awakens was that he was the last remaining Jedi. But now we're finding out that there's all these other Jedi running around. Why weren't they? Where were they?
Like I said, I mean, they all ended up surviving.
But where were they with the rise of the First Order? Where were they with Luke Skywalker reforging the Jedi?
they already gave up. All
Yeah,
of them by
and
then, I guess. Well, I mean, no, I know what you're saying. It's like,
well,
there was supposedly, if you're just gonna cherry pick the best-selling action figures to bring back,
right.
I mean, with the Mace Windu talk and with Ahsoka being and Mandalorian's Bo-Katan, it's kind of like I kind of collect action figures and I see what the hot action figures are, and I'm gonna tell you, like, the hot action figures are kind of the characters they're bringing in
Right.
to the show. Boba Fett, Ahsoka. I'm just saying, it's kind of funny,
It's
But it's like Spaceballs, right? It's merchandising.
yeah,
so.
it's the same. It's the same issue you had with Captain America in Endgame.
Oh,
You couldn't
yeah,
believe
I
that
mean,
Captain America spent the last 50 years chilling on the couch with 9/11 and the Challenger and the Iraq War and the Vietnam War.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I just didn't think it rang true to like just the Boy Scout that Cap was.
Right.
That he would go back and choose to do anything selfish.
But it's kind of it's the same problem they're setting up here. Now
Yeah,
you have all
sure.
these Jedi's that are out there that have been out there for the last 20 years.
And Darth Maul's going to come back.
Yeah, but where were they? Where were they? But you have to at some point explain where they've been all this time.
I wonder if because
And
you heard that thing about like if George would have done a trilogy, how Darth Maul would have come back and he would have had Darth Talon as his apprentice.
Yeah.
I wonder if you're going to get like a Darth Maul apprentice come into the picture and they're just going to use Darth Talon, because what the future is they're gonna like dissect the EU and they're going to see what characters are the most profitable, and they'll write them in their way. The reason they stopped using the EU right off the bat was probably so they couldn't give royalties to the people that wrote the stories. So maybe they're reappropriating the characters their way, and they're just choosing the ones where, well, because I know for a fact, like Darth Talon, for example, if there's a Darth Talon statue out there, Star Wars fans buy her.
Well,
These obscure type of Sith, Jedi, Mandalorian characters are very profitable in the merchandise.
Well,
it's a matter of writing good characters.
I know that's kind of the speculation that's going on. The other really big reason for abandoning the EU is so that creatively you're not tying yourself in knots with all these. You can
like
start
I
over
said,
from
if
a
they
clean
want to
slate.
just cherry pick the good characters and reappropriate them, right? Exactly.
But bringing in Dave Filoni and bringing in and the struggles they've had with fans kind of is making them do like major course corrections. But these course corrections,
as long as it's all kind of makes sense, right? I mean, like you say, the closer this show gets to episode 7, they're going to have to.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to go alternate Star Worlds like they're doing in Marvel, but nothing's going
to. I don't see Star Wars doing that.
Okay. I'm just saying it's Disney kind of. Disney's not too attached to lore.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
I couldn't see Disney.
If that happened, would you lose it, or what would you do?
So we've talked about privately about this. There's certain story tropes that I really don't have an interest in. Time travel, multiverses, and clones.
It's lazy.
It gives.
The clones we're already getting, so that's too many there, right?
But
as long as they just stick with that, because it's already been established. The clone.
Yeah. But I'm talking about where you use clones as an excuse to kill off characters and then bring them back.
Oh no, sure, definitely. The Gwen Stacy thing in Spider-Man, it pissed me off. So.
Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, right.
Or you give Captain America the opportunity to say he's in Hydra, but then it's all just a
secret reason. It was all just a reason for a big event.
Yeah.
Again, it's just a reason to sell the comics. They're like $5 now. You got to do something.
But anyways, I'm legit excited for the show going forward.
Okay, yeah. Well, in closure, the name of that planet was Typhon.
Typhon, which planet was that?
That's the planet where he's headed.
Right, so
this is a planet where there's remains of a Jedi temple. He's going to be put on a pedestal or something, and it's like a beacon. A force beacon is going to attract the Jedi to him. That is what I'm thinking. If these rumors of Mace Windu are true, Mace Windu's going to show up.
Okay, so
if not Luke.
Okay,
but still.
So this goes back. So I was thinking about this, and this goes back. So she said there's other Jedi out there. If he reaches out, if he chooses to reach out to them, somebody might hear him and come for him.
It'll be Kit Fisto. And actually, he died.
Why wouldn't Luke or Leia respond to that call?
So he's going to, and it's going to be Sebastian, the actor that played Winter Soldier. Let's hope.
But like,
we don't need no more Mark.
Like,
he can stay away.
This is like one of those TikTok videos where you're like, oh no. You can see the person about to screw up. You're like, just don't do it. Like I see them.
If it's like a totally new Jedi character to establish, that would be nice.
That would be.
You know, and that's also a character. If you did a new character, you could kill the character off, and you could totally explain why he's not or she's not around in the future. Or you have that whole new character get to Grogu before he gets to the beacon and says, "Hey, it's not time yet." It's a precarious. So I could see this just for if you want to give me writing credit in the future. You're at a point right now where there's the Sith have fallen, but a wise Jedi would probably recognize that the Sith is still out there and could be a threat. Sure.
And the Jedi are still incredibly weak. So it wouldn't make sense if even if it's Mace Windu to come in and say, "Hey,
he would be weak still."
Yeah. Hey, don't put yourself out in the world like that. Don't be a beacon. The time's not right.
Because you got to imagine too, if any survivors of the Council are still alive, they would be able to have the foreshadowing. Maybe not on the level of Yoda, but Mace was like just under Yoda.
Right.
So if he is a survivor, then definitely he has the knowledge that nobody else has about that.
And it would be an out on all the stuff I was talking about earlier. Because now he could take Yoda or Grogu, take him aside and say, "Hey, it's going to be like 50 years before you're ready to be part of this."
Just being you, Green Bean.
Exit stage left.
Now, do you think that the child is a clone of Yoda? No, I'm just kidding. Of course not. No.
Yeah, but
we already know that the child was around for years before everything happened. So they can't do that.
Yeah, but okay. So to wrap this up, I'm starting to have trust, kind of like I trust Kevin Feige.
Okay.
Even if I don't like time traveler shit, I'll trust that he'll do it in a way that's coherent.
Do you think that maybe with them establishing Ahsoka so strong in this episode that they are maybe hopeful of maybe an Ahsoka series?
Well, like I said earlier, the one rumor I heard is Rebels.
Right.
So I think they're just trying to introduce. So
I don't think there should be a glut, but I definitely think the future is more towards the streaming shows if they can do it.
Yeah,
they're going to want to put the interest in Star Wars and streaming it
and build up.
Definitely.
They're probably going to want to build up the fan base again before they start investing $200 million in a film.
And like this episode, these Mandalorian episodes, you can film them with a cast of like 8 people.
Yeah,
those droids were fake.
Right.
There was like 8 humans in this.
Yeah. So, point being, I'm starting to trust where they're going.
Okay.
So hopefully, and I'm looking forward. There's what? So this is episode 5. So there's 3 episodes left.
Yeah, right. 8 episodes. So I would think that we might see. We got to see some other Boba Fett nugget. I would think. Don't you? Maybe in the last episode, maybe it'll come back around.
No, maybe not. Maybe Boba Fett. Maybe Boba Fett is.
We're just gonna keep on beating you or reestablishing.
It's just gonna be, hey. Here's a character for a future show, and here's a character for a future show, and you get a show, and you get a show. But I don't know if they're.
And all of a sudden, the Star Wars Network.
They got a lot of
show every night.
They're juggling a lot of balls right now, and I don't know how anybody can hold that many balls in their hands.
Yeah.
So, anyways, on that note, too many balls in their hands.
Heavy.
All right. So, great episode. Really looking forward to next week. Are we gonna, yeah, so we'll be back here next week at 6 o'clock Arizona time, which is 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Eastern.
8
o'clock Eastern. So, thanks for watching. This is Jeff.
Jason.
Get on the back.